happening? It's going. It says we're live. There's probably a little bit of a delay on the old YouTube action. So let's just hit refresh here just to make sure that we're actually live. And bam, 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 bam.
How it's going?
We actually are. Hi, everybody.
Hey. Oh, it's a slight delay on it.
Yeah. So we're gonna make sure that we're muting so we can't hear anything. All right. I think we figured out. We're going live. Who are we? Oh, hey, this is Jen. Everybody, you wanna tell everybody who you are really quick, Jen?
Hello. Thank you for coming. I'm super excited. I'm Jen Caffeine. I am a writer and used to live in Chicago. Now I live in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Been friends with Kelsie for many, many, many years. And we just started chatting and decided to do a virtual write-in. I also work for Story Studio Chicago, so I'll probably be talking about them a lot.
You warned us all.
And then I'm trying to. Kelsie is over here.
Yeah, I am. I'm over there. Yeah. So Jen and I obviously we're doing the shelter in place. We're doing the lockdown thing, and we're like thinking of like ways to be creative and to start writing and not feeling isolating. And I did a Camp NaNoWriMo, so I usually do stand up, but I wanted to. Obviously, I can't do that now because it requires lots of people. So I wanted to keep writing, but I was a little lost. So I did Camp NaNoWriMo, and if you guys don't know what that is, I'll put the links in the description and all that stuff. It's NaNoWriMo, which is like a novel in November, and Camp NaNoWriMo has like smaller goals. So I'm never writing a novel. That's the old Jennifer Caffeine. I write like shorter things, stand up, personal essays, and things like that. So I set a smaller goal, and I did it, every day, and I hit my goal, and I went above it, and I found these virtual write-ins, and I loved them. So I thought, let's just copy that.
On a smaller scale.
Yeah, on a smaller scale.
And just to throw in here, I did NaNoWriMo several times, like years past. So that's like National Novel Writing Month, where you write every day for 30 days. And a lot of people get together in groups, and you do it like, some people do it virtually, some people do it together. At Story Studio, we were hosting a lot of classes for it and write-ins and things like that. So yeah, NaNoWriMo is awesome. It's just a good way to get together and, set goals and get your writing done.
Yeah, I agree. So we're gonna try to do that here. So we're gonna start out pretty small, pretty chill. We're gonna do writing sprints, and what a writing sprint is basically like a hot burst, which is a gross way to describe it.
Or the best way to describe it.
So we're gonna start out like pretty tangible goals here. So we're not doing some like 20-minute sessions, right? We're gonna start with like some 5 minutes and then maybe a 10-minute goal. We're gonna give you a prompt, and we're gonna flip off. So Jen's gonna give you a prompt, and I'm gonna give you a prompt, and you can take it any way you want. If you start writing and you don't want to do it, just throw it out the window. You can make that fart noise if you want. Yeah, and we have a theme. Do you want to tell them our theme?
The theme is Mother's Day.
Da, 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 da.
So many mothers are going to be trapped inside with their entire families, as they've been for every day for the last, 6 weeks, 8 weeks?
1,000 years.
7,000 years. Yeah, so I'm sure they're really looking forward to that, as am I. Yeah,
so Jen, you're one of those mothers, so you're going for it.
I'm really excited.
Look! You guys, we also got a comment from me.
What does the comment say?
It says, we are live and figuring it out.
Oh.
So we're also trying to figure out all this tech as well. So let's get into it, Jen, right? It's like
let's do it.
Our whole goal.
Again, I'm going to throw you guys a prompt. We're going to do a 5-minute writing sprint. If you want to use this prompt, please do. It's a great way to like a jumping off point. If you just want to write for 5 minutes about whatever you want to write with, do you.
Yeah, and Jen, one more question. Free writing, just in case people aren't familiar, what is a free write?
Okay, so free writing is just putting your pen to the paper, or if you want to type, that's fine too. But the goal is to just write for like 5 solid minutes without thinking, without stopping, no editing, just free write, just go crazy. Don't try to, make it be anything, just see where your mind goes and try to keep the pen on the paper the entire time or fingers on the keys.
Awesome.
Yeah. All right. Are you guys ready?
I'm ready.
5 minutes free write prompt. Okay, here we go. The ugliest gift I ever received was.
Awesome. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put 5-minute writing sprint. I'm also going to give us a clock.
Yeah. Are you handwriting or are you typing?
I'm going to handwrite. I'm not good at free writing. And also on the keyboard, I edit too much. So
same. I'm going to handwrite.
You're going to handwrite?
You guys do whatever you want. We are going to handwrite.
Yeah, right on. Okay, well, I'm going to start the clock right now. So 5 minutes. Ugliest gift you ever got?
The ugliest gift I ever got, go.
We did it.
Yay! Only
Yay!
1 minute left.
Look at that. We've got lower thirds. Whoops, I messed it up. How did it go? We did 5 minutes. Yeah.
I was slightly distracted, but that was okay. That happens. I sort of took it in, instead of using like me personally, I gave it to a character, and it was sort of like she was repeating that, and then kind of let her go with it to see what would, what she thought of was the ugliest gift. So yeah, it kind of worked out.
Right on. So are you working on, you say character, are you working on something right now, or did you just kind of pull a character out of your head?
Yeah, no, I'm working on a short story right now. I've been working on a lot of different things that I recently kind of, I guess, threw away. Some really, some really long pieces, like a book.
No big deal.
No big deal. No big deal. Like 2 years, no big deal. I wouldn't say throw it away. I would just say, I guess I put it away. I just need to decide if I'm going to go back to it or not, or just let it be. So I'm working on some shorter pieces right now. And this is one of them that I really like. My problem is my short pieces just kind of keep getting bigger and bigger. So I need to decide, where it's going, how big it's going to be, that kind of thing. But I'm really enjoying it. It's a lot of fun.
Gotcha. So you're taking one of those longer pieces and you're creating a short story, and that's the character. Yeah. Yeah. So do you feel like these kind of exercises, even though, because I remember when I was doing it before, a lot of people who are writing longer things were using it for like backstory or fleshing things out or finding dialogue or whatever. I think that can be pretty helpful.
Super helpful, because I think a lot of times, you get stuck in the bigger picture, maybe like what's happening next, or I need to get this scene, and and like that kind of stuff, and then you just forget about all those little tiny details and nuances, and this is sort of like, this ended up being like a gift that she was given at this party, and her reaction to it, and just really focusing on the gift itself, and like the little detail of it, the color of it, the texture of it, like all that kind of stuff, which is really the stuff that makes a scene pop. So I find that these free writes are where I get the most detail stuff, because I think I'm focusing on tiny things.
Gotcha. Which is pretty cool. Yeah. And I also felt like a pretty distracted, which I think is normal for like the first kind of like writing prompt,
Yeah. That's the point, right? Is to kind of get rid of the distraction.
Get it out. Yeah. And plus, like, we're doing the live stream and I'm like doing tech and like trying to figure that out. And so I was like, so I didn't give it a character. I was making, personal essay, sort of personal narrative. Although that's not what I did a lot in the Camp Nano, but I think that's where my brain usually like goes. If I'm like, okay, just get something down, I go to that like stand-up comedy spot.
Oh, okay.
Like I'm like, okay, pick a thing and like pick an emotion, then like write a list, where it's like, I don't know, kind of trying to organize in some way. And I eventually landed on like, well, people hate getting sweaters. I never got a sweater, bum equipment sweatshirt, it's like all over, like I saved up for it and then I hated it. And I'm like, I'm wearing a Freddy Krueger sweater right now. It's the worst. Like I was just like, ding, 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 ding.
Like, the bum equipment sweatshirt. So
yeah. Yeah. So I do feel like, and then at one point, like I heard a ring. I'm like, is Jen faxing something? What's happening?
I think it was Fraser's playing video games. I had to figure out how to mute this thing.
Yeah. Oh no, but that's what I'm just saying. I feel like I was really pushing into the mania.
I'm gonna do some quick faxes.
For those of you who might watch this later on, you guys don't know, Jen does not like modern technology, but she does not own a fax machine, right?
No, I probably do. I'm like, you guys, I finished my story and I'm just gonna fax it off real fast.
Each page at a time.
I'm like, it's gold. It's gold.
I love that we're faxing like it's a shredder. We don't even know what a fax machine is.
I think it goes like this.
Yeah,
right?
I think it's like this. Yeah, you got to cover page.
I remember being really slow. You had to like hold the paper.
Awesome. Okay, so what do we want to do? We want to focus on a 10-minute, maybe a longer one, beefier. Yeah, let's do it.
You're going to do kind of a little bit of a bigger prompt.
Yeah, I think this one can work for a character or from a personal essay point of view, the bigger prompt. Okay. So I'm going to do this. I'll just get these banners up now so people can know it. So this is a 10-minute writing prompt. And again, themes Mother's Day, but you can take it or leave it if you will. So it's kind of beefy. I don't know if you want to write it down. I will put everything in the description box too eventually, so you'll have all these writing
I'm going to write
prompts.
down the word beefy.
Mother's Day, beefy.
That needs to be on a page.
Oh, it's on my body. All right, now knock it off. Okay, so here's the thing. This is the prompt. Let's do this. Focus up, Huff. So write from the POV of your mother or your character's mother. This is the scenario. She's talking on the phone to a friend, and she's talking about you.
Oh.
What does she say? So it can work for you or work for your character. And if you're writing from a personal essay point of view, you can say writing as she's talking about you today, or you could do it like you're 10, but like make that decision right now. Yeah, that's what I would say.
Okay, she's talking on the phone about you. What does she say?
What does she say? What does she say? What does she say? Okay, so I need to just pull this up. So we're going to write for 10 minutes. We're going to reset. Let's do this right now. Oh, stop. Oh, just little technical difficulties. No big deal. Don't you write yet. I'm just kidding.
No, I.
Just kidding. Okay, go. Everybody go. Panic.
I lost the link. Oh, is it going? Okay, I'm ready.
Yeah, there we go. Okay.
Okay, go, beefy, go.
All right.
Yay!
We did it once again.
How was that?
You know, I give myself these challenges every once in a while because I have a tendency. So I wanted to work on like dialogue
Mm-hmm.
because I have a tendency, being a stand up or whatever, I'm always sort of talking. Like I'll do a quick burst of an act out or something and I'll become someone, but it has
Yeah.
to be really fast. It has to be really cartoony almost. I want to say cartoony, but like it has to be like one physical element and one vocal element. And they say one thing and you kind of move on. And then
Okay.
I'm out of practice of really like delving in. And I thought like my mom's voice is something that like I could just jump into and like, oh, I can do that and that'll be good practice. For some reason, she's 100% not my mom. Like it started out very like Southern, because I started talking about like the Lord, and then all of a sudden it got our minute. We don't have a minute left. What am I doing?
Like constant.
There's always a minute left. Um, yeah, like so that was challenging. So I kind of went to that same comfortable spot, which was like a little cartoony, and then I eventually had to like write through it and get there. And I really think it's a good exercise in me to really like listen more as a writer to how people actually talk and not trying to push them into a punchline or a thing,
Mm-hmm.
because one, that's not what all my writing is going to be. Two, once I like let that go a little bit and wrote more, she was coming out a little bit more, and then it was like more truthful of I think what she would say. So it's kind of interesting.
Oh, that's so cool. I mean, two
Yeah.
things. One, doing the stand-up stuff is so writing for that is so interesting because I mean, you're writing in these like short little like you have to tell so much in like one little tiny sentence. It's just like you
Yeah.
have to tell everything that you need to know. So it is a little. It's like it has a lot to it, but it's also like a one-dimensional thing. It's like boom, you're out. Boom, you're
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, you have very limited time. It's like a picture.
Absolutely.
You have like a
Yes.
snapshot and that's it, as opposed to like, painting this beautiful landscape with all these, intricate nuanced colors. Like that doesn't exist in stand up.
Yeah.
It has to be
So
like
you're
boom.
looking for like the one thing, that's
Yeah.
gonna like click and then walk away. But like with something like this, and I think that's interesting with like a longer free write or a longer prompt. It's like your initial stuff is that surface stuff. It's always gonna be like that's you're just looking for like the punchline or like the funny thing or the thing that's gonna like make you like be like, oh, what's that, the shiny thing. And
Yeah.
then it's like, okay, now we just have to sit in it and like keep pushing and pushing and see what pops up.
Yeah, and I think I've
That's where it
flexed
gets.
that other muscle so much that I really need to get into this more nuanced thing. I also find, which I think is pretty similar, is like I'm always looking not just for a punchline, but for a theme, for a wrap
Mhm.
up, for a something, instead of like just let this
Just let it
woman
go.
talk on the phone. Like just let her talk. Like if you're going to be eavesdropping, it doesn't have to have a thing. But
Yeah.
even in writing this, I like had to bring it back to a bookend, and I was like fighting it. But it's interesting. I want to flex another muscle, and I
Yeah.
do think it's going to take a while to get there. Yeah.
I totally agree with you. I'm sort of in the same place, even writing like longer things where I think for so long I was trying to write a specific type of thing. So I'm like, it has to go like this. Like it has to work like this. It has to flow like this. I have to hit these sort of places in the
Yeah.
story. And I just kept, it just hasn't been working and it hasn't been working and it bores me and it frustrates me. And I was like, I think I just need to spend time like letting the story go where it's going to go and see what happens. Cause I think I fall into that same trap where it's like, I'm
Yeah.
trying to make it do something.
Yeah, and I think maybe what we're both at this point of our lives, and also because we're not necessarily able to do the same thing that we were doing, whether it's like we don't have a crowd or it's like, you have like a family, like things change.
Right.
Like therefore our writing has to evolve as well. And so maybe we're just at that next stage.
Yeah, you're not going
Yeah.
to write the same way that you did 10 years ago because you're a different person and you were also doing it in a different way. Like I used to have I used to have solid writing days.
Yeah.
And, so I think I was able to write in a longer way. And like, I haven't had that in, oh my God, so many years.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
many years.
Mother's Day. Well, what about you? Did you find it? Were you writing from a character? Were you writing? What did you find? Or did you go
Yeah,
off
so
the
I'm
rails?
still kind of sticking with this story that I'm working on, but I don't envision this being in the story at all. So it was kind of a scene like before. There's women in the story is sort of forced to go on this like weekend girls trip, and
Torture? Is that what you're saying?
yeah, she's like made to go. It's like there's a wedding, and she's this so she's the sister of the groom, and like all that kind of thing. So like, and so it's her mother on the phone explaining to a friend like, oh, she's going on this trip, like this is why she's going, and all the stuff that's happening. So it was fun for me to sort of see. I knew that the mom had made her go, and had like sort of paid for it and pushed it and all that kind of stuff. But I didn't realize like the mom's sort of motives and fears and her own anxiety and like what fueled her to like push her daughter to go.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah.
And again, like this isn't gonna be in the story at all, but it was helpful, and this is the kind of stuff I need to be doing more to just kind of make it richer.
Yeah, it's hard though to do that kind of stuff if you feel like yes, it makes it richer, but there's no like immediate payoff. And it's hard to put that time to it. I feel like George R.R. Martin has done this and made like a giant career out of it. Like all the backstory is now becoming other things, and we're just finish the book.
I struggle with that because I think I have such limited writing time that I'm like all the writing time should like go toward like I should get something out of it. Like I should I should have a finished product. And honestly, I think that's been my biggest block is that my expectations are like ridiculous. I'm like getting in my own way because I'm not just letting it be and just like following the story. Like I'm just like, I want to produce this thing, and then I end up like not getting it done because it doesn't work. So
same. I think I need to like chill out and enjoy the process and see where it goes, as opposed to like looking for the punchline, or you're like looking for a product. And I think when, again, we mentioned the very beginning of this, like when we were doing things 1,000 years ago, when we like met each other in college, there was no expectation. It was just kind of like playful. There was still like deadlines and things to do, but you were finding something.
We didn't have any expectation for what was going to happen with anything, because we were young and we were just trying stuff out in a really fun way, and we were just having a lot of fun with it. And I think too, like, I don't know, I think that was what we wanted to be doing at the time. I wasn't trying to like climb up a ladder at the time. I was just like, oh, this is it. Like, this is the life.
This is the ladderless life.
We're just living the dream. And I just thought I had so much time. I think when I was younger, we were doing that. So I'm like, oh, we'll just do this. And I think the other thing is we were just doing really weird stuff. So the stuff that we were doing, I didn't have huge expectations for it because I was like, this is weird.
Yeah. Our audience is minimal. Yeah.
So when you have that, like there is such a joy in it. But I also was like, well, this is a stepping stone into the next, of like, but yeah. You discover you're like, oh no, it's just this forever. Yeah.
Took a sad turn at the end.
Like, oh wait.
Well, I think it's the other thing that I'm noticing too, like even like running, like this is our first one. We didn't really market it, we're just kind of seeing how it feels. Like I'm also feeling like this is seemingly not like this isn't fun, but this is a product, as opposed to when I was just going to these write-ins and just writing.
Yeah.
It was a different vibe there too. You know what I mean? It's like, I feel like I'm at this point where I have to put creativity and professionalism together all the time, every time. And I don't think you have to. I 100% don't think you have to. And there's also this element of like sharing on social media, which again, we're doing, but like some things you do in the shadows just for fun are the best things.
That's true. And the most dangerous.
That's right. We didn't say what we're talking about. Yeah, Jen used to shove nails up her nose. No big deal.
Thank God. There was like no video. No.
Oh, there's video. I have Lincoln Lodge footage that I have to go through. I know it's in this bag down here.
No, I probably is.
Anyway, we digress. Okay, so it's 7:36. So do you want to do a quick one, or do you want to wrap it up? Because we can probably 5 minutes. Want to do another 5-minute one?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. It's your show. What prompt would you like?
Okay, let me see. I have an email that says me on it. Okay, this one's super weird. We'll end with
I love it already.
Weird 5 minutes. Okay. The doorbell rings. You open the door to find a stork has left you a box wrapped in silver paper. You unwrap the box to find... ...
Okay, so can you do it one more time while I get this timer up?
Yes. The doorbell rings. You open the door to find a stork has left you a box wrapped in silver paper. You unwrap the box to find.
Okay, let me reset this here.
I did some research on the legend of the stork, just for myself.
Just for yourself. Well, I need to get this. Hold on one second.
Okay.
For some reason, it's going to 10 minutes. We don't have time, Google timer. We don't have time.
You gotta watch TV, Google. We only have 5 minutes left.
We got 5 minutes. Oh, sorry, guys. Apologies. I will, this is why we're doing this very small, our very soft launch. There we go. Okay. And 5 minutes is starting.
All right. What'd your stork bring you?
What did your stork bring you? Time's up.
Yay.
I love a good weird. I feel like these are the ones that like shake me up the most.
Oh, really? Why is that?
I think I just get out of my, I mean, I definitely still go into the same things where there's like jokes and dialogue, there's still that kind of stuff, but any kind of element of like animal or fantastical is just so far from the realm of like what I do ever that I have to. Yeah. So I like these. I had a couple of prompts like this too, just to be like, what if they got weird? I think that helps. How about you? Did you find that you had to connect it to your story, or were you like, eh?
I did end up connecting to my story, and I probably shouldn't have. I probably should have just run with it, because I feel like the one we did like a practice one. I can't remember what the prompt was, but I really just wrote something really kind of out there and bizarre, and I liked it a lot. And this, I was still connecting to everything, but again, I was like pushing it in a direction that I probably wouldn't put in the story anyway, just kind of finding out some more information about these people.
Yeah.
And sort of, how they interact and what they do and, stuff like that. So it was good. Yeah. But what was in your silver box?
So I actually, this is also classic Kelsie. I wrote so much before the box. I'm like, okay. And then it opens up and I'm like, oh wait, I better tell everybody what's happening before the box. So I had like a grandmother and like sort of her like recluse grandson that she got because her son died. He was very helpful. I don't really figure out, a fireman or something helpful, whatever. So she's like, gets the ring in the door. She's trying to get her like grandson to come. Then this fantastical thing happens, and he's at like there, and it's a kid. I ran out of time. I was like, it's just a baby.
You're like, it's a baby. It's an actual baby.
It's an actual baby. I don't know. I got to do a lot of backstory before anything happens. So classic Huff. Yeah. I wish it could have been something like, severed head or something cool. But
obviously.
that stork with just like dripping blood.
That's the reader expectation when you say box is that there will be head in it.
Yeah, you just think, get that goop lady's head in there. You know what I mean? How about you? What was in your box?
So this is like a bachelorette weekend, and some the party luggage has gone missing from the airport, so they don't have any of the penis straws and like that whatnot. So I was just thinking, I was like, can you say penis on YouTube? And I'm like,
yes, you can. This is the internet, baby.
It's like a channel where literally it's all you're allowed to say.
Mm-hmm. Subscribe
if you don't say it.
Yeah. Do not subscribe to that YouTube channel.
Just stay off that YouTube channel, you guys. It will mess you up.
Don't do it.
Oh man, see, I miss those theater days.
You're like,
I can make a show out of that.
So so there was a party. It was connected to the party luggage. That was what's in the box.
Right. So there's been a whole to do because like all the fans. So anyway, so somebody knocks at the door and they open it up, and there's like a box out there, and inside is like this, like one of those like a feather boa, and then like a lace, like a red lace veil, like one of those fake bridal veils that bachelorette parties wear. And so the bride to be is like super excited, but it's but it was taken from a dead man's hotel room. So that. But they're like, so it's like she's excited and other people are horrified.
Are like, oh, I love it. Tension.
Yeah, it's weird. So that part will probably stay in, but I didn't. Yeah, I like the idea of the box being out there and stuff. And one of the drunk girls thought that it was a stork, but it was just a bird.
Just a regular bird tweeting by.
Just a bird.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, we did it. We did our very loose launch.
Yeah.
I think next time around, I think we're going to try to still do Tuesdays. I think this one, all right. I mean, we'll talk like off camera. Yeah. If you want to make any changes, and if anybody, I mean, we did not get obviously like a ton of comments and things. We did not advertise. So we'll ask next time around if like people want to see things differently or whatever. But yeah, that's that. We did it. So you want to do, we'll be back next Tuesday, 7:00.
That sounds great.
Time. Yeah.
Yay, excellent. All right.
Yeah. And we only went 3 minutes over. our
Yay!
estimated time.
Brilliant.
Brilliant. Do you want to create a tag?
Like a hashtag?
That's a no. We're just going to end. That's our tag. Like a hashtag?
Like a hashtag? I had to think about it. That's a lot of pressure.
Oh, I know. All right. I'll end it. We'll figure it out later. All right.
Oh, no. What's our thing that you said on the YouTube thing? It was like, stay safe, stay writing?
Stay safe, stay home, stay writing.
Stay home, stay writing. If no one else has taken that, that's a good hashtag.
Yeah. Okay. I just said, oh my God, Ellen Wessel's watching.
Yay! Oh, she gave us claps.
Oh, amazing. All right. We're going to hide it. Let's end it. We're out of here, suckers.
All right. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.